What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you're new, and put that on all so you get notified of all the latest content as and when it drops. So let's get into this one. Now, this one, I'm going to be talking about, of course, one of the many fights on the stacked Terence Crawford versus Israel Madrimov 154-pound title fight. That's the headliner. And this one, we're going to talk about Andy Ruiz versus Jarrell Big Baby Miller, or Big Farmer Miller, as many have been calling him. Yeah, this is a fight where, to be honest with you, I'm finding it quite hard to pick the winner of this fight, to be brutally honest with you, because it's like you have to take into consideration the fact that Andy Ruiz has been out of the ring now for 2 whole years. For 24 months, Andy Ruiz has not had a boxing match. He hasn't had a fight. So although, yes, Jarrell Miller, he lost his last fight to Daniel Dubois. He was well in that fight. He was doing all right in that fight. He was as much as Dubois sort of took over in the end and stopped him. Jarrell Miller was sort of always in that fight. He was hanging tough. He was giving Daniel Dubois sort of all he could handle. He gave it a good go and he tried his heart out. But it's difficult because going back a few years, I would have said, yeah, quite confidently, Andy Ruiz, because Andy Ruiz has been right to the very top. He's beaten Anthony Joshua. He's done so well against guys like Joseph Parker, and he really deserved to win over Joseph Parker back in the days. And he's a guy that sort of mixed it at the higher levels, upper echelons, and he's proven that, yes, he's world class. He's one of the top guys in the division. So you'd confidently pick him, but it's just like with this lack of activity, this fight is a lot closer than that, and I think really and truly it's very, very close to a sort of 50-50 fight, because with Andy Ruiz, there could be ring rust. It's been a long time. If he's rusty after 2 years, that's going to affect his fight, and that will, if there is ring rust, and it does show itself on fight night, well, that's going to be a big thing in Jarrell Big Baby Miller's favor, because although he hasn't won his recent fight, he at least had one that wasn't too long ago. So he's been the man that's been more active, and activity is a very, very important thing in boxing. You need to be active. You need to be fighting as regularly as possible to get the best out of yourself. So that's kind of 2 years wasted for Andy Ruiz. However, I do think that of the two of them, Andy Ruiz is the better man. He's the better fighter. When it comes to the way they fight, I think Andy Ruiz, he's the man that's got the faster hands. I don't know about the feet. They both kind of got slow and sort of ponderous feet, but Andy Ruiz is sort of the better boxer. He's the guy that, much faster hands. He's a good counter puncher on the inside. He's a front foot counter puncher. So of the two, in terms of skill set, I mean, Miller, he throws a lot of punches too, but a lot of them are slaps, and he doesn't get the full extension into his punches. Excuse me. He's not the and also with Miller, he's not really a big puncher, so I don't think so you're not really too worried, too concerned about his punching power, because he doesn't get that extension into it, and he doesn't really throw with like proper authority or proper power. So in the heavyweight division, he's one of the sort of lighter punching heavyweights. So Ruiz is going to have that edge in punching power, and I think even stylistically, this fight, I think, is going to be fought at close range. I can't see Ruiz running around the ring or moving around the ring in this one. I can't see Jarrell Miller doing that either, because that's not the nature of these guys. And he might have lost, I think Miller's lost a load of weight as well. I think he's lost about 40 pounds or 50, somewhere thereabouts. There are some rumors of him losing 60 pounds. So I suppose that's another factor there that not Ruiz, Miller is going to come into this having lost quite a significant amount of weight. That's what it looks like when you look at the face-offs and the grand arrivals. So it is going to be interesting. And for me, it's kind of a 50-50 fight. I slightly lean towards Andy Ruiz because I think the fact that Miller has lost some weight and lost quite a bit of weight, that may play a factor, and that may play into Andy Ruiz's hands, because he's got the better inside game, and Miller having lost quite a significant amount of weight, that might affect him in a negative way. That might sort of mean that he's drained, or that might, when you do that in a short space of time, that might cost you in terms of your stamina or something of that nature. So, yeah, for me, I'm thinking Andrew Ruiz is going to do this, and I think Andrew Ruiz wins this one on points. But again, for me, if I'm doing percentages, I'm going to say that's like a 55-45 in Andrew Ruiz's favor. That's how close this is to me, because I just think there's a few factors. I think the inactivity, the sudden weight loss for Miller, it's a close one. I think in terms of their careers, what they've both done in their careers, Andrew Ruiz is on a higher plane, a higher level, but at this time he's been very inactive. And then you've got the weight situation with Miller. But for me, just right now, my pick is Andrew Ruiz, and Andrew Ruiz does it on points. I don't think this is going to be a knockout. I think this is going to be a points job by Andrew Ruiz. And he'll probably have to come through some tough times and some tough moments to win this fight. But he's a very resilient guy. He showed that against Joshua, showed that against Ortiz, that he can get up off the deck if he needs to and come back and win the fight. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. Let me know your thoughts. Who are you picking? Jarrell Miller or Andy Ruiz? Let me know your thoughts, and until next time, this is MKO Pugilism, over and out.